mini colour changing sand timer, Japanese magic. Oh, Humbug, Highlight, Humpty. Oh my goodness me, what have we got here? Well, it's our Christmas pack, our pack of surprises for Christmas. 12 of them listed here, so a lot of fun to show you. This was a lot of fun to put together. As they say, we better open the box, don't we? Well, in our case, it's the bag. We put it in a very pretty packing bag like this. So take them out one at a time and see what we can find. It's got my Christmas card, but I always love an unusual Christmas card. I'm going to finish with the large, my favourite item, that one there. It's got lots of things in between, lots of small things and lots of very clever and unusual things too. And from about 3 or 4 different continents I may have too. Europe and America and Japan and Asia. Oh goodness me. There's 2 and there's last 2 are here. Boom, boom, boom. Look at that. You go in there, dear, that's right. Right, let's roll them out. Look at this. What a lovely collection. Small and large items. There's the instruction sheet. That's something else, and that's something else still over there. That's something else. So the first thing I always like to include is a card and a balloon. So here's the card for this year. It's a very unusual one from Jim Sharp, who has been in touch with me many times, because it seems to be saying, if I hold it up at the right angle, Merry Christmas. And then if you pull it away, not too far, it suddenly turns into Happy New Year. Oh my goodness me. So look it up close too, and you'll get a Merry Christmas appearing. But a little bit further away, when it's sitting on a mantelpiece, it'll be wishing everyone cheerily a Happy New Year. So he calls it due illusion. It's illusion and doubled up. So a very clever one. Comes with an envelope, send it to the post to somebody if you don't want to keep it yourself. But it's a very surprising double Christmas card. You don't need 2 Christmas cards for the same message. The second one is one I spent a long time playing with about 20 years ago, and I've made a much better version of it. It's 2 balloons. You'll see why. I do return some of the money you paid to buy this because I've got a 10p piece here and 2 5p pieces here. I'll do this one first. You've got to blow it up yourself with a pump preferably, but I'll blow it up by breath. About 8 inches of diameter, that's a normal size. Make a little knot. Children will have trouble with doing this, so the grown-ups will have to come in between. Now here's the tricky bit, which we do give an explanation to on here. Don't be frightened about all the words down here, but that gives a full explanation of what I'm now showing you, which is to hold the balloon with your hand grasping the top like this. So the neck of the balloon is sitting in the palm of the hand, and you're grasping it firmly. Shake it in the air, and the coins start running around in the air, but immediately go into a tight circle like that. And can you see what's happening? They're going in orbits around each other and around a central point. I'll put it down on the table because that's where you get the best stability. You want to hold it nice and steady like that. And they slow down and down and down, sometimes together, sometimes apart. Extraordinary. Yeah, they're flying apart there. Goodness me. And they come to a halt. Extraordinary. The 10p piece on its own goes on for ages and ages. Extraordinary. So you hold it up like that, pick it up, give it a shake like that, and immediately start doing a turn. And you want to get them roughly halfway down, get them both going, halfway down where the balloon's at the widest diameter, and then you watch as they do these extraordinary gyrations. And it's best to hold it slightly steady on a table like that, to hold it steady, and then they do the most delicious changes, chaotic circles and ellipses, and then gradually come to a halt. So a very, very clever item. That's one of my favourite things to write since I've invented. And when you finish with it, you can deflate. Here's one I mentioned at the beginning. It's an hourglass, and it's got sand. Well, I'll just put it this way to start with, because this is real Japanese magic. It's got blue sand, which I'll show up the camera, and then I'm going to turn it upside down, and it's now falling down, but oh my goodness me, it's changing into purple sand. How can it do that, for goodness sake? How can it go through a completely different colour change? Absolutely bizarre. When it reaches halfway down, I'll turn it back again, you'll find it's falling down and becoming blue again. The blue is restored. So one way it's going blue sand, the other one's going purple sand. Wonderful, and it's complete magic. How does it work? We don't give a solution, you've got to work it out yourself, but not too hard. Very nice piece that. Here's some remarkable soap which glows in the dark. I think this is particularly nice soap. One of my sister-in-laws thinks it's the nicest soap for her hands to feel, and it's playing on the fact that it's a bit of radium. Well, it's not radium; it was a radioactive element, but it's got all the details of the atom or the element of radium. But it does glow in the dark beautifully, so much so that we're going to show this as part of our video, glowing in the dark with a lovely, delicious blue colour. But at the same time, it's a bar of soap, but very, very nice, kind one, kind on the hands, kind on the skin. So very nicely made. Well done. Here's a funny thing. It looks like a sweetie. It's a barley sugar, is it? No, it's calling itself a Humbug Pen. A Humbug Pen? Well, it's plastic, of course. You squeeze it like that and pull apart like that. Oh, a highlighter, of course. Oh, well, here's my sheet. Let's have a go. There's the instruction sheet again, and I'll highlight this bottom, second to top line. There we are, look. Whoa, 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 whoa. Highlighted. And when you finish highlighting, put the little pen away and it's done. Very useful, and in the form of a sweetie, I think that's delicious. Here's a very remarkable invention. It's a torch, of course, and it shines nicely. There we are, good strong torch. But it can't run out of electricity. It's an eternal torch. You don't need to replace the batteries because, yes, it's one of those dynamo torches. To make that work, when it's running out of juice, you've got to push this little thing to one side like that, and down comes this yellow tab, which is part of a lever for a dynamo. Can you hear it? And after about half a minute of that, you've probably got quite a few minutes of lighting time on the torch. So it's one that never gives up, and you'll never run out of torchlight because all you've got to do is do a bit more of that and it'll come alive again. Very nicely done. I love the idea of looking like an animal skin. If it's this one's probably a leopard or something, but it's nice to see when you push this back again, it sits there looking like an ordinary torch, but actually it's got a bit of magic to it because it's one of those eternal torches. This is an amazing thing. It's called a musical comb. You're probably familiar from my childhood with combs where you put tissue paper on and it goes bzz, 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 bzz. No, this is something much cleverer than that. Because the combs, all teeth come up to the level, but the bottom of the comb, look, is all up and down, down and up, and each tooth, because it's a different height to some of the others, will do a different note, won't it? So, either you put it on the table, actually you'll find it much better to put it on the box that we provide with another toy in it. In the end, you hold it like that, and then when you pass your hand down, a very well-known tune will come out. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-E-E-I-O-O. I'm out of tune. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. If you do it the other way, it'll sound very fun, so don't bother with that. They do warning instructions, but you've got to learn to do it. Old MacDonald had a farm. Old MacDonald had a farm. E-A-A-O. Sort of. I've always forgotten my nursery rhymes. And it's all done by having a good resonant surface, like a box, to make it sound well. And then when you finish doing that, yes, I suppose if you've got any hair left, you can comb your hair with it too. So musical comb with a difference, and something very clever that's gone on then into designing that. Well, here's the Humpty Dumpty I mentioned earlier on. Yep, and it's Humpty Dumpty, which is sitting on a wall, ready to fall off, just to amuse you. You push it, a push switch with some push. Down he goes, or forwards, or to the side here, or to this side here. Flops all over the place, waiting for all the king's men to put them together again. Well, you don't need the king's men or the horses, just your thumb to release the thumb, and he's back to normal. Also, you can pose these arms, which are rather nice. Hold them down like that, or forward to wish you hello, welcome, or whatever it is. It's a very charming little version of a thumb toy. Good one. Here's another musical item. It's a little mouth organ, the sort of thing I used to have as a child, but not this small. This is something else to put in your crowded key fob. Yes, everyone has key rings with lots of little attachments, and this one there's a tiny little mouth organ with 4 notes in it. Try and think of a tune with 4 notes in it, and away you go, blow, 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 and you'll enjoy that. It comes in a little box too, a harmonica or a mouth organ, but in miniature form, but it's a working one. It's not just something to look at, it actually works, which is lovely. This is a beautiful item. It's one of my best forms of cardboard engineering I've ever come across. It's a kit which makes, a Japanese designer makes a penguin which pops up. Doesn't need any glue incidentally, it's just tabs put together. And I put one of mine from a separate pack in the top just to show what it does, because the pieces there are all included there, but they haven't been assembled. About 60 minutes or something to do it. Yeah, something like that. And when you finish with it, you've got this wonderful action where the thing pops up into a penguin, and because it's so well sprung, it does a little hop across the table as if it's actually moving across the table. But that action is absolutely delightful. Something completely meaningless and suddenly pops up into a very well-known figure of a penguin. So absolute beauty that. I've included another sheet of my photocopy fun, which I love sending out to my friends and relations over Christmas. It's two-sided, one colour, one black and white. This one here is delicious. This is from somewhere, I think it's in the east coast of America. There's a topology, there's a topiary garden there, where you've got two hounds and a rider and a horse, all made out of hedge. And it's absolutely beautifully done, absolutely amazing that. And also this one here is amazing because it starts off as a settee and turns into a double bunk. On the back of them, my favourite one is this one for Christmas, which is Santa Claus wearing a funny typical hat, puffing away at a pipe, and it still works the same way upside down. That's an amazing bit of artwork to get that so symmetrical. So things to look at and have fun with in one of my fun sheets. And the last item is probably the pièce de résistance. This is one of these wonderful kits, a robotic kit. A rope climbing robot. Well, he doesn't climb the rope as much clamber across a horizontal rope between two jungle trees. It's a kit form to put it together. The only thing that we can't put in there is batteries. It does need 2 AA batteries, but we do include the rope, incidentally. Put it between 2 jungle trees? No, to put it between 2 items of furniture in the house. And when it's going, it clambers with its hand over like this in the most wonderful, realistic way. And it goes the full length of the rope, in fact. But it's such a fun thing to make, and then to find that it actually works properly as well. That is something else. So I think you're going to enjoy this year's Christmas pack as much as any, really, because there's so many interesting things in it, and I had so much pleasure in putting it all together. I hope you have a really happy Christmas.